Hey guys, it's AM here. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about just getting into nursing school, what school would be better for you guys, and kind of just some common questions that people have that I've talked to about nursing school as well. So I do a accelerated BSN program. It's well, it can be done in 4 semesters year round, but I did it in 5. So I have this semester that I'm in right now, and then one more semester left until I graduate. And I looked at schools around the area. There's a lot of community colleges here, and also like ASU and different schools. A lot of them have waiting lists right now, so I didn't really want to do that. I just wanted to get started and get going on it. So that's kind of one of the reasons why I chose the school that I did. Another reason too, I have all my prereqs done already. I had them done. So it wasn't like I needed all these other classes and I had to worry about costs quite as much as someone that maybe is just starting out. So that's kind of what I decided to do. It's a small college that I go to. I actually love that it's a small college. It's one of the things that I would suggest to everybody. Not that big colleges are bad. I have my first degree from Arizona State University, and that's a huge college. It's one of the, I think, the biggest in the nation. So I don't mind bigger schools, but I think it's so much better. Just, you know, you get to know all your peers, you get to know all your teachers. You know, if you want references for grad school, a bigger school where, you know, teachers don't even know your name, and stuff. And for me, like, I want to go to grad school for nurse practitioning, and it'd be really good to have references. So keep that in mind when you're looking at schools. Also, you know, I'm in the same cohort with all my peers, so all 4 or 5 semesters we're in it together, and we do each, you know, set of classes all together, which makes it really nice. You get to know everybody, and just everyone helps each other out, you know, with study guides and studying for exams, and you know, you can just ask your peers questions. You don't have to bug your teacher the whole time. It's just really nice. It has that sense of community, and you know, you're not suffering alone. I mean, nursing school can be tough. I work part-time, and that's been enough as it is, so it's just nice to know that, like, you're not the only one going through it. You know, there's people there for you and people who are actually going through it with you, so it makes it a little bit easier in that sense. So definitely when you're looking at schools, make sure it's accredited. CCNE, you want it accredited. Too many fake schools out there, hopefully not, but there are some, so just keep in mind, look up the school, look up, you know, the accreditation, make sure they're valid. Also, another thing to look up that's really good is their NCLEX. Familiar, which you should be soon, is NCLEX is the boards basically for nursing. So I have my LPN, I took NCLEX for licensed practical nursing, and it's your boards after you're done school. You're eligible to take the boards after you pay a fee, and that is what actually gets you the nursing license in the state. Without that, you wouldn't be able to practice. So make sure to look up whatever school you want to go to, look up their NCLEX pass rates. It really should be at least 80 something percent. 90 something percent would be better. I think my school had like 92 last time I checked. So another thing to really keep in mind, and when you're looking at schools, is to look at that. You know, factor in cost, factor in time. Like I said, a lot of the community colleges here for the associate RN had like a year, 2-year waiting list, and it's just, for me, it wasn't what I wanted. But you know, for some of you, maybe that would work better. It's also cheaper, so keep that in mind. I mean, I had all of my prereqs out of the way. You're gonna need like statistics, A&P 1 and 2, probably microbiology, and some, like my school needed pathophysiology. So but I already had those done at community colleges at a lower price. So my suggestion, I guess, if you're not going to go to a community college, if you want to go to, you know, a 4-year and get your BSN, what you would be better, probably price-wise, would be go to community college and take those, you know, prereqs, so the A&P 1 and 2, the micro, the patho, get those done and out of the way, and they're gonna save you money taking them at a community college rather than, you know, a big 4-year college. So that would be my suggestion if you haven't done all your prereqs, is to probably do that. And just, you know, you need to keep in mind, make sure they transfer to the school that you want to apply to, because, you know, that's also can be issues as well. And some schools too, I know like I think one community college around here has like a night program. So just, again, look around. Like you might, you know, if you have to work full time, and some people do, they don't have the time to take off, get programs like that. You know, there's other options out there that, you know, are part-time options that would work better for someone that maybe has to work full time or has kids or, you know, this, that, and the other. So just my suggestion is to really look, ask questions. When you get into, for your BSN or RN, doesn't matter, you're probably going to have to either take the TEAS test or the HESI. I had to do the HESI. It's just basically an entrance exam. I think you can buy booklets to study, especially if you've taken all the prereqs and stuff. Like, you probably don't need to study. I mean, you know yourself better than anyone. Like, if you're someone that does need to study the extra, then I would suggest maybe getting like a booklet to study for the HESI or TEAS. But mostly, I mean, I do pretty good in school. I took all the prereqs already, you know, I kind of just took the test and I did well on it. So it's just a basic, like, I think math, reading, science, and like one other I'm forgetting. So it's not, I don't know, it's nothing too crazy, I don't think so. But you will have to do that before you apply or in the process of applying to schools. Let's see, what else? Also, oh, I wanted to say, so I had questions too. Like my cousin I just talked to, Devin, who he's thinking about going to nursing school, which I'm really excited about. And so I got to talk to him on the phone for like an hour, like last week, about just his questions for me about, he's pursuing definitely an RN, but he doesn't know if he wants to do an associate's degree or the BSN, which is the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. And really, again, it depends on the person, the situation, everything else. There's pluses and negatives to both. For me, I mean, I want to be a nurse practitioner, so I definitely need the BSN to get my master's, you know, it's just what you need. So keep that in mind, I guess, depending on where you want to land. If you want to just do nursing, or if you want to do nurse practitioning, then you need your BSN anyway. But again, it comes down to cost. Like for him, it would be so much better just to get his RN associate degree and save a lot of money in the process. And I told him too, which is a positive as far as just having your associate RN, you know, you can still get jobs. You should, at this point, you can still get jobs at the hospital. Sometimes I know a couple of my friends back home had their associate RN and they got job at the hospital back home where I'm from, and they just had to sign a contract that was like a 2 or 3 year contract that in 2 or 3 years they're gonna get their BSN. But you can still get jobs in hospitals, you know, as an associate RN. It won't matter that much as far as that goes. Told him too, which is nice if you just do your associate RN, if you get a job in a hospital, a lot of times they'll help you pay to get your BSN, you know, they'll help pay some of that tuition, which again is really cost effective. So keep that in mind. And another really good option to think about. Because the RN, the BSN, the core skills of nursing are the same. They're, you know, you take the adult health 1 and 2 or med surg 1 and 2, you know, you take the psych, you take the pediatrics, you take the maternity, you know, you take community health, and all those are the same. So skill set wise, you know, you should be the same. The only thing with the BSN is just you take classes like, you know, intro to ethics, ethics and law, you know, evidence-based practice class, which is more like research-based type of medical things, and also I think information and technology, like in the medical field. So just kind of extra classes like that are good more for if you want to go into management or leadership positions and just more higher learning type things. But as far as like the actual skill sets, nursing-wise, the associate RN and the BSN to me are the same. You know, you have the skill sets either way. So sometimes, like I said, it's nice to get your feet wet. Make sure too that's what you want to do. For me, the longest time I had was like trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I had no idea. I had, you know, finishing up a bachelor's degree, my first one, and just no real direction, no sense of direction. I really wanted that, and so I finally found it in nursing. But you know, it takes time. Some people get into it too and they decide it's not for them, you know, and then you wasted 2 years sometimes, or a lot of money that, you know, you're not even using. So that's the other thing I would suggest. If you're not quite sure, you're probably better off to do like an associate RN program, or even for me, like I did an LPN program, which was a 10-month program, you know, and it was only 10 months. It wasn't that expensive. I got a grant for it, but it helped get my feet wet into the field, like make sure it was, you know, what I wanted to do, which it is, but it's just nice to kind of have some of those options that aren't as expensive, aren't as time consuming, but that will still get you the experience, and that way you know, hey, this is what I want to do, or this isn't for me, you know. So just keep those things in mind. But yeah, so that's pretty much it as far as just the process. Obviously apply early, you know, get those prereqs done, and take your HESI, your T's. And if you are looking at schools, like again, the cost, look at the timeline, make sure they're accredited by the CCNE. Also look at their NCLEX pass rate. You know, make sure that they have at least a decent one, because you don't want to pay all this money and then barely pass your boards or not pass your boards because of it. You know, you need those. If you don't pass your NCLEX, then you're not going to practice. You don't have a license. So those are my suggestions for that. Also, this is kind of getting later on, but once you do take the NCLEX, once you graduate, whatever program you graduate from, my suggestion would be to take the NCLEX as soon as possible. You know, you're gonna have a couple weeks in between anyway by the time you graduate to when you're able to take the exam, probably almost a month. So take that time, yeah, study and stuff, but then take the exam. Don't push it off, because the longer you wait, the more stuff you're gonna forget. It's better to do it, you know, fresh out of school and just get that going. Also, anyone that's not as familiar, ATI, I had it for my LPN as well as what I'm in right now for my BSN. ATI is really good for boards. I mean, just the way they make questions and the way that they answer them correctly through ATI is the best replication of what you're gonna get for what the NCLEX would be question-wise in the boards and stuff. So take a look at ATI as well, because the way they, you know, write their questions and a lot of the select all that apply and things like that are a lot like the boards itself. So my suggestion as well would be to practice ATI too, because it just helps you get more familiar with the style of question. And, you know, it's not just the right answer, it's the most correct answer. They're the most right answers. So anyone in nursing school knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, all right guys, well, thanks for listening. I'll be back here again. Probably next video is going to be like tips on surviving nursing school and doing well in nursing school, just some kind of tidbits and stuff, as well as I also want to talk to you guys about like SimLab and what that all entails with the smart dummies, and also some tips for, you know, clinicals and things like that. So stay tuned. All right guys, bye.